Welcome back. This is Kristen with Chrissy's Crafts, and today we are going to be making a piece of jewelry. Here is my pendant base, and we're going to be using the Magic Glos. And you know, in the past I have not been able to use this product. I think it's a fantastic product, but I just have not been able to get satisfactory results, and that's because it always bleeds. And that was an error on my part, not the product. And so if you aren't getting good results, I hope you find that this video helps you. And if you are getting satisfactory results, then I'm impressed. Good job. Because I know a lot of people seal their paper with decoupage glue and white glue, and they say it works for them. Well, I finally found the solution by going to Lisa's website, and she says not to do that because there's a chemical reaction and it will cause the papers to bleed, which was what was happening to me. So this is my way around it. This is what worked for me, and this came off of Lisa's website. And can I just say thank you, Lisa? And so let me go ahead and show you what I do. First off, I'm printing on an HP OfficeJet 6500, just your standard inkjet printer, and I'm using the HP brochure and flyer paper gloss. And the reason I'm using that paper, it's a little bit heavier, and I think it really does help not to have it get absorbed, the product absorbed into the paper. And so first off, since I just printed this, I'm going to go ahead and heat set it a little bit so it really absorbs into the paper using my embossing tool. So let's just go ahead and heat it up a little bit. And I'm really just going to go ahead and do it on one image because that's really all I need. I just want to make sure that the images are completely dry. It's really best if you aren't in a hurry to let this product soak a bit into the paper and set, but of course I'm not doing that. Now I should say the piece that we are doing is actually for my daughter. It's a Christmas present, so let's hope she doesn't see this video. And it's a big piece. I mean, this is just one small part of the project I have going. And what we have here, it's, again, Doctor Who inspired. She loves the BBC show. And it's a weeping angel. And so we're just going to go ahead and this almost fits this. But almost fits isn't fitting. And so, but I'm just going to use this as a template though, to go ahead and trace around, because then I know I can just kind of trace and cut right inside that. It'll get me close. And hopefully I'll be able to see this pencil mark. If not, I'll have to go to something else. Okay, now, say you don't have a piece like this to trace around. What you want to do is you want to take an index card and a black crayon or any kind of crayon. Lay your index card right over the piece and take a crayon on its side and rub it, and that'll give you an etching of the oval dimension. Cut out that oval dimension on your index card, and then you can lay it right on your design, see through it, trace it, and then cut it out, and it should fit. You might have to make a few minor adjustments, but it should work. So now, okay, let's see how well I can cut this out. My lighting's not the best right now, but let's see if I can get close. Okay, so now we are all done. I've got the piece cut out, and it does fit inside my little pendant here. Oh, I forgot that it has double-sided. I think I'm going to use this side. It's a deeper side. I like that better. Gives me a bigger bevel. Okay, so I'm going to put it in on this side. And what her secret is, you're going to be amazed by this, how simple it is. Now again, I still use the heavier paper because if it doesn't get a tight seal around the laminate, it will seep in and get your paper. So you need to make sure you have a really tight seal, or that heavier paper will not absorb as fast. So if you're using a really light paper, scrapbook paper, and not a cardstock, you may still have a problem. I just wanted to forewarn you about that. But if you're using a little bit heavier paper, this should work for you. Okay, so what we just did is we laminated the front of this. Shipping tape, Scotch 3M shipping tape. You can use any brand, it doesn't matter. But just go ahead and make sure that's burnished completely over your image. Get it really tight up to the seal. Okay, now that's the front side. You want to turn it over and do the same exact thing to the back. Making sure you don't have any bubbles, no air bubbles in there. Now, you have basically just encapsulated your image between two sheets. You've laminated it. So just keep working at it, burnishing it. You want it to be as tight a seal as possible. You don't want any product to get in there if you can help it. And if it does, again, that is why we have the heavier paper. Lightweight paper, this may not always work if you don't have a tight seal. Heavier paper is definitely the key with this, along with the tape. And don't worry if it looks ugly outside your tape, as long as you have a clean copy on top of your tape, because you're going to cut all of that off now. And there went my burnisher. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead, make sure you cut right on up to that. If you can, leave the tiniest bit of a seal, just the tiniest bit, so that way the product does not get into the paper at all. Okay, well we are back and I have my image all cut out. Trust me, you're happy you didn't have to wait and watch me do that. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put it inside our pendant. Now typically I would run this through the Xyron, but just so happens my Xyron is out of sticker. And so I'm just going to put a couple of strips into the back of ATG glue. Now this is just to hold it in place while it's set, so it's no big deal. This is just temporary, because once it hardens up, that'll hold it in place. So go ahead and just place it inside your pendant, move it around a little bit, get it where you want it, and then just press down and seal it to where it's going to stay. Sometimes you really have to work it in. This is where I find nails come in really handy. I just really seal it around the edges. Okay. And that looks good. So I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like now before we put the Magic Gloss in there. Let you see that. Hopefully you can see that up close. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, just because I have a little bit of lotion on my hands, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off. I don't know if it would do anything or not, but why take the chance? Okay. So now, what we're going to do, make sure you have a straight pan handy, and then I like to have my embossing gun ready because it does pop bubbles, and I try and drag them off, but if you can run the heat over them, and then we're ready to get settled. Okay, Magic Gloss, to help prevent bubbles, it doesn't prevent them all. Store your product upside down. And it really does help eliminate bubbles. I find I don't get as many. Okay, so we're just going to start by adding Magic Gloss to the center. Now remember, this is self-leveling. It does not require that you mix any parts. And if you do get bubbles, because sometimes it does in the hardening process, you can use a Dremel to drill them out and then apply another coat. And then that way, you can just fill it in. Okay, see what we have here. Now I see I don't have it up to the edges yet. It hasn't filled. I do have a little bubble there. But I'm looking pretty good for bubbles. A couple little tiny ones. And instead of playing around with this, I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun just to get rid of them real quick. Doesn't take long. Should get rid of anything. Oh, I just saw one pop, and there's another one there that needs to pop. I think it did. Now remember, they will surface from the bottom and come up. Ooh, that was too much heat, too close. I actually just watched it make a puddle all the way around. So I got a little carried away talking. Obviously I can't do two things at once. Apparently I have difficulties with that. There's a little bubble right there. And I really want to get them to pop now before I put them in.